From the minute I got to Villanova's campus, I felt the support right away because the transition from high school to college is definitely a big one.
The culture at Villanova is very collaborative. It doesn't really feel like a competition. Everybody's supporting each other. I've made connections with my peers and my friends and colleagues that I know will last a lifetime.
One of the best things about the faculty here is that they really embody the Villanova values of community. Dr. Smith is one of the most compassionate teachers that we have here. Her door was always open. She'll work with you in order for you to understand the material at hand as best as you can. Really takes the stress off of being at college a lot.
I do research with Dr. Elmer in the chemical engineering department. I know that when I'm in the medical field, I want to be on the cutting edge of technology. So working on projects like this, that's giving me the skills that I'm going to need to have the career that I want to have.
When I was first accepted to Villanova, I came here for an accepted students weekend. Professor O'Brien sat down with me and wanted to know all about my interests and what I want to do and where I want to go academically in my career. And that's the moment when I knew that Villanova was my home. He's just been so helpful. So I think I've become a better engineer, a better person from being able to work with him.
Dr. Deinhardt was kind of one of the first faces of the civil engineering department that I saw. And it was also really clear from the beginning that he really cares about the students. He puts in an effort to connect what we learn in the classroom to what we could potentially be doing in the outside world. And he wants to make sure that he's teaching us not only how to be great engineers, but to be great employees, great people, great team members.
The sense of community that you have in your undergrad extends into your life for all of the future.
I think the Villanova community doesn't just stop on campus, and that's because of the alumni.
Villanova is the type of community that enriches you as a whole person. It pushes you in the ways that you need to grow.
To be able to see how your engineering background can work to serve other people, once you realize that, wow, this education has now helped me help someone else, it's a really humbling experience and really something that I'll be able to take from Villanova for the rest of my life.
Villanova engineers are united by passion and connected for life. We are better together.
Now I'm pleased to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Michele Marcolongo, the Drosdick Endowed Dean of the College of Engineering.
Hello. Thank you for coming today and welcome. Michele Marcolongo, I'm the Dean of Engineering here, and I'm very happy to have you all here today. What I would like to do is really go through an introduction to our community, to our College of Engineering, and show you how we train our engineers to be leaders in the world. We love it that you're coming here and bringing your creativity and all of your skills to look at Villanova. And our compact with you is you use your creativity, your hard work and skills. We will give you the technical training and everything around it to make you successful engineers, because we all have a mission in this world. There are a lot of challenges. They're bigger than any one person, but together as engineers, we can envision a new future, and we're gonna have the technical skills to be able to accomplish that vision. And so let's take a look at what we do here. Oh, I thought this was a slide answer. Let's see. Well, my first technical glitch. Let's see. Could you advance the slide, please? Thank you. Try to figure out if this is a slide advancer. I'm not sure how that works. Okay, sorry about that. So here at Villanova, we have 5 majors: chemical, civil, computer, electrical, and mechanical engineering. Plus we have a BS and MS, a master's program with the undergraduate program in just 5 years. And you can do that with all of our majors, or you could do that with, that's better. Oh, great, thanks. Okay, I'm in control. Thank you. or with other masters. So you could do, a major in chemical and a minor in sustainable engineering, or major in electrical, a minor in cybersecurity, or masters in cybersecurity. And we also offer PhDs in all of these disciplines. So a lot of our students choose to add a minor to their engineering degrees, and about almost 3/4 of our students have decided to do that. The minors can be in any of the majors, so if you're, again, electrical, you could do mechanical or vice versa, or any of these other specialties, including other majors in other colleges, such as, we were talking earlier, philosophy or business or anything across the campus. So that's a really nice way to go deep in your engineering curriculum, but also kind of branch out a little bit in another discipline that you might have some interest in. So what makes us different at Villanova? You're going to be looking, I'm sure, at a lot of engineering programs, and everyone has its own flavor, so I'm going to tell you about ours. We, of course, are intellectually engaged. Villanova, we also learn by doing. I'm going to talk to you a lot about that today because I feel that that's really the best way to learn to be an engineer. So you can be an engineer and learn all of the theory in the classroom, but you really need to learn how to apply that theory and to try it out in different ways. And we offer a lot of programming to be able to do that. We're entrepreneurially minded. We have a very supportive community. We're in service to others, and I'm going to tell you about some of our service programs, but that's just a general philosophy that we adopt in our college. And we really try to aim for excellence, and we measure how well we're doing as we try to train and educate our students. So learning by doing, our approach here is really to use project-based learning. So again, you'll have your book in the classroom, but you'll also be doing projects in the classroom. You're going to start out as a freshman doing a team freshman design project. So right away, freshman year, you are going to be doing engineering, along with all the other things you'll be learning. We have a lot of self-directed projects. So in the summers, we offer a project with a corporate partner of ours called L3 Harris, which is one of the largest aerospace companies. And we have a project called Innovate, where students can work on design teams. They come up with their own designs. They work on executing and making a prototype. And then in collaboration with the company, get some mentorship from the people within the company, and then present at the end, even to the CEO of L3 Harris. And it's been a great program for us because oftentimes when our students go through that program, then they're offered internships by that company, and L3 Harris is one of our highest employers of engineers at Villanova. So there are a lot of opportunities to do that, and also to do research. So we have research laboratories here, and our faculty members are teaching and also doing research. Undergraduate students are always welcome to come into the research lab and try learning by doing by trying research. And that's one great way to see, one, how you like research, and do you like that kind of work, using your creativity in that way, and just see how research is done, starting with a fundamental question and trying to answer that. So many of our students choose to have that experience as well. So the faculty members are often working closely with students on projects, whether you're going to build robots and fly them over campus, if you're going to collect data from our green roof and figure out the water flow and conservation from that, making high-performance, low-cost medical devices like our NovaMed program, where our faculty and students designed a ventilator in the very early days of COVID to try to reach those around the world who don't have access to that and needed that at that time. and any kind of projects that we have going on. Another way to learn by doing is by challenging yourself by doing a study abroad. About a quarter of our students do a study abroad. In an engineering curriculum that's rather dense, it can be difficult to fit in a study abroad, but we have figured out the magic formula to allow our students to do that. And so if that's something that's interesting to you, we can help make that a reality for you. We also take an entrepreneurial-minded approach to learning. Again, I mentioned project-based learning. What that really means is you're always trying to figure out what you're learning, say, in thermodynamics can apply to the real world in some way. And these projects in the classroom are kind of entrepreneurial-minded in that they help you envision that. We also have a program that's an award-winning program. It's really a first of its kind, and this is called Career Compass. It's a program that allows our students, while they're learning engineering, to also, in parallel, learn professional development skills that will make you work ready. So if you are a freshman, you'll start in on that program, show you how to write a resume, do some interviewing skills. If you're interviewing for internships, you'll be all prepped up for that, and we'll work to help you through that process. Later, through the sophomore, junior, and senior year, you can you can build on these skills, a little more organizational dynamics in a workplace, and try to analyze how things go in a working environment. And we also pair every one of our students with an alumni mentor through this program. So starting sophomore year, every student will have an alumni mentor, and these relationships have proven really valuable for our students. Many have gotten internships from their connection with their alumni mentor and jobs at the end of their service, and also just learned, a lot more about the practical world of engineering. So, so this has been a great program for us, and one that we're very proud of. For our community, we really have a teacher-scholar model, or teacher-researcher model. And this model for us means every faculty member is teaching in the classroom. Nobody is just doing research in a lab, although we are doing research in the lab. And we really keep this model here at Villanova to put the students first. Students are our number one priority, and we want to enrich their education by doing research and giving them the cutting edge of discovery along with their education. But you will know your faculty members by name, and they will know you by name. There's no sleeping in your class here at Villanova. They won't allow it. So, for better or worse. So I mentioned the mentorship. We actually have a three-pronged approach to mentorship for our students. The first starts really on orientation week, where we introduce our incoming students, our first years, to a peer mentor. And the peer mentors are really aimed at trying to help a student kind of get familiar with the campus, get familiar with the college, see what professors to take, which ones to avoid, maybe, I don't know, and how to generally navigate Villanova and Villanova engineering. Also aimed at really welcoming the students into their home departments. And so this idea of peer mentorship is really a nice way to help incoming students find some guidance and a spirit guide, really, through engineering. They'll also be given a faculty mentor, a faculty advisor, and that faculty advisor will stay with the student through all 4 years of their curriculum. So again, another chance for the student to get to build on a faculty relationship with a mentor in their department and get advice as they're going along academically, and then sort of non-academically as well. And then I already mentioned the alumni mentor. So having this three-pronged approach really helps students to kind of find their way, feel comfortable in our community, be part of our community in a variety of ways, and a way that we can help the students to achieve their absolute best success. Our community, this is sort of a snapshot of our diversity. We have 33 female undergrads, 33% female undergrads in the College of Engineering. Last year in our entering class, we had 40%, in the freshman class, so that was interesting. We have 23 racially and ethnically diverse undergrads, and 25% of our faculty are women. We believe strongly in principles of respect in our college. We really won't tolerate anything less. And we have a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee that has faculty, staff, and students on to really try to promote the best ways that we can continue to develop equity among every member of our community. I was talking about peers earlier, and I should also mention that we have an engineering student wellness committee. These have been trying times for a lot of us, and college is always a trying time of transition. Anyway, at least at some point, there's always it can be a bump in the road, and this engineering wellness committee is really designed to help support students in any way that they can in their wellness. And we're part of the Nova Nation. As you see from this pavilion here, there's a lot of school spirit at Villanova, and we are part of 14,000 alums and engineering alums. So this Nova Nation, they come back, they give back. We have the most supportive alums that you can imagine, and they help us in so many ways to advise us in some of our programming, talking with the students, and just overall supporting our college and our growth. Another way that Villanova is different is through our service mission. And we have just launched a new Center for Humanitarian Engineering and International Development. And this really puts the practice of engineering in alignment with Augustinian values, in that we go to serve others. Our students will come and work with faculty members on a project here, and also in collaboration with a GMO anywhere in the world, and try to focus on a particular project that will help solve a local issue. So our students have gone to so many countries and deployed these projects, and really worked with the communities there on installation of the projects and programs, sometimes putting a new internet network up in a remote area, sometimes doing physical projects around water or sanitation. There can be a variety of ways that we can interact and help our communities globally. And so many of our students choose to participate in these projects. If I ever talk with a student about what was the best thing about coming to Villanova, they often talk about this program and how impactful it was to them and their own development in life. So we do other service and outreach. We try to pay it forward. Being engineers here, we try to reach back down to elementary and high schools in the area, and we tell and teach them about engineering. And all of these approaches where we are learning and then we're giving back, this really helps us to develop in our students people who will give back to the world using their technical skills, maybe not their technical skills, but we really want to educate the whole person here in the College of Engineering. Our retention rate, that means the number of students who start as freshmen who return as sophomores, is 95%. This is just about as high as you can go theoretically with the College of Engineering. So beats the national average by quite a bit here, which is at 82%. And I think that this is one indicator of how well students are prepared for Villanova when they come here, and how we also treat our students and make them feel comfortable enough that they really want to stay for the whole 4 years once they come here. So our 4-year graduation rate is 81%, and that's versus 35% nationally. Our students also, for outcomes, we were talking about internships a little earlier. They do internships. About 92% of students who wanted internships, were able to find internships here. Not every student wants to do internships. Some people are in ROTC. They have things to do in the summer, or they have other things they want to do in the summer, non-engineering related. But those who want to pursue internships, we're able to achieve those and set them up for them. And internships are also a great way to flip into a job offer. So about a third of the students who do internships end up getting jobs from the job offers from the companies where they interned. And then our final placement rate when our students go out to get jobs at the end of their education runs usually north of 95%, with an exception of 92% for the 2020 class, which was, again, in the middle of the pandemic. Those poor students were looking for jobs, and our 92% that year was really, it was very high compared to our fellow universities who were trying to place students during the pandemic. That was a very difficult time with a lot of positions being, postponed and onboarding being postponed, so the hiring season dragged out a little bit. But still, our engineers are doing well, about $71K for a starting salary. We've been, engineers are well paid, and our students are competing with the best of them. These are just a few places where our students go to work. And they also go on to graduate schools. And so people who have come and studied at Villanova have gone on to do some pretty impressive things, led Fortune 500 companies, started companies. Some have been to space. One has won the Nobel Peace Prize. One played in the NBA. That wouldn't be me ever, but one was president of Stanford University, won wonderful prizes and recognitions for their hard work. So I think here at Villanova, we do create value with using values, and really want entrepreneurial thinking to be instilled in our students. We want to keep that creativity and excitement of discovery in every student that we have, and really complement that with a solid foundation in engineering principles. So if we can do that, we will have trailblazers. We'll continue to have people go out and make their impact in the world, change the world for us for the better, using their solid values and their technical skills. So I'd like to thank you for paying attention to me, and now the people who are really going to tell you about Villanova are sitting up here in our panel. So let me go ahead, and we'll have our students introduce themselves, and we'll have a few microphones going around so that we can take any questions that you might have, and we're very happy to try to answer all those questions today.
Hi everyone, my name's Taylor, and I'm a junior computer engineering student minoring in both cybersecurity and ethics from San Diego, California. On campus, I'm involved in Alpha Phi Omega, which is a service fraternity, and Formula SAE, where I design, build, and then compete a Formula-style race car against schools internationally. And this past summer, I did undergraduate research through UNC Charlotte in the field of cybersecurity.
Hi everyone, I'm Francesca Ciasullo. I'm a junior in the chemical engineering department. I am also minoring in biochemical engineering. On campus, I'm involved in Society of Women Engineers. I'm also a SEER peer, and I'm on the club field hockey team and involved on Special Olympics committee.
Hi everyone, I'm Ryan. I'm a senior civil engineer from Long Island, New York. On campus, I spend a lot of time doing personal fitness. You can find me in the gym. I'm on club running. I do the indoor rock climbing club and outdoors club. I'm also part of SEER Peers and the American Society of Civil Engineers.
Hi, everyone. I'm a senior electrical engineer. My name is Griffin Davis. I'm double minoring in computer engineering and computer science. On campus, I'm the VP of Outdoors Club, so big shouts, as well as the chair of IEEE. And this past summer, I interned with Fast Enterprises as a consultant and developer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Chandler. I'm a junior mechanical engineering major, class of 2023. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm involved in a couple of things on campus. I'm the president of NSBE, which is the National Society of Black Engineers. I am also a SEER peer, and I'm also part of Pi Tau Sigma, which is the Mechanical Engineering Honor Society here.
So you can tell how impressed we are with all of our students here. Thank you very much. And we'll open up to any questions. I think we have our blue shirt crowd here with some microphones if you'd like to ask any questions of our student panelists. Yeah.
Hello. I was wondering if you know how large your ROTC program is? Navy.
Yeah. How large the ROTC program is? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Come on up, come on up.
Yes, so for Navy, it's about 80 to 100 kids right now. Army is significantly smaller, like 30 to 40, and Air Force has like 2, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got one here?
Hi. At what point in your education did you have to decide which engineering you were going to major in?
So you have to put, I believe it's still the same, you have to put on your application a preference of which major you'd like to go into. And then freshman year, you have that interdisciplinary project, and you'll kind of start within one of your major classes in the spring, but you can change after that. The earlier you change, the better, because we do get into specific courses pretty quickly, but it is a possibility. So you have a little bit of flexibility early on.
Hi, my question is, how would you say that Villanova fosters an environment of intellectual curiosity?
That's a great question. Freshman year, you'll take a class called Ancients, which is ACS, and a lot of the class is a seminar, and you pretty much sit in a round table with students. It's not really engineering related, but you read a lot of old texts like Plato, we go over the Bible, and it encourages students, to speak on the things that you believe in and also the things that these authors have put in their texts and see how you can relate or not relate. And it just encourages speaking with each other in a group and just kind of getting your ideas out there and trying to figure out who you are as a person, which carries all throughout your 4 years at Villanova.
Kind of along those lines, one thing that really inspires curiosity on campus throughout the classes you take that I've noticed at Villanova especially is being able to take both humanities and engineering related classes, and just the ability to explore other disciplines while still being in a technical degree program has really helped me out. Like, for example, I've done a lot of work I'm an ethics minor, and I've been able to apply a lot of that to my cybersecurity kind of focus within my minor. So yeah, if you're interested in something, you can kind of just run with it. And faculty and other students are very excited to get involved with whatever it is you're excited about. Yeah.
My question is cybersecurity only a minor? And is it within the domain of the engineering computer science?
Yeah, so cybersecurity is kind of a recent minor. It's offered to both computer engineering and then computer science students. So it's kind of a collaboration between both of the programs. But it's not offered as a major right now, but you can do it as a master's if you want to do like a 4-in-1 program.
This is for anyone, but when you guys were applying to the Villanova and College of Engineering, what made you choose that program over other schools' programs? I think for me, after coming to like Accepted Students Day, I really got a feel for how collaborative they touched on it in the video. Like, it's really not competitive at all, and I got that feel right away. And I've heard from upperclassmen that I knew that classes, as you get deeper into the major, become so much like group work, and I was really looking towards that. Also, I like the class size, because I feel like all my professors do really know me, which I appreciate, because I tend to go to office hours and like to be able to speak with them after exams or whatever, so I think that's what really got me about Villanova Engineering.
Could a couple of you speak towards what was the most difficult class you took, what made it difficult, and how did you work through it?
So I was thinking about this question. I knew it would come up, and I was thinking about it a lot last night. And I don't know if I have a great answer. For me, it was probably chemistry, and that's just because I'm not that fascinated by chemistry. So it's really hard for me to learn if I'm not particularly engaged, and that had nothing to do with the professor or anything like that. I just don't like chemistry, and you just kind of have to really stick your nose to the grindstone, and I think, you know, it's very good, as you said, that there's a lot of collaboration, not only in our college, but just with Villanova students in general. There's a lot of tutoring resources on campus, and the SEER peers who are always willing to help you. And just, you know, friends are always willing to sacrifice some of their time to help out. And that's always been the case. So I haven't really experienced a challenge yet that I haven't felt comfortable asking somebody for help and getting the necessary help to get over it.
I would say for chemical engineering, we take a class called Technical Communications, and you'll hear about it from upperclassmen, and they kind of like warn you about it. Because basically it's like a lot of report writing. You do like an experiment, and then you learn how to write formal reports and things you would actually use in industry. So that I took sophomore year, and it kind of comes out of nowhere, like so much writing that you thought you were gonna be doing like pretty much just math and science. So that was definitely the most time-consuming class, but I got so many valuable, I learned so many valuable things from that class. So working with your peers and kind of getting through it together is the best way to do that.
What kind of hands-on engineering experiences are offered in the classes?
Within classes, kind of just, well, it depends on your major, but within computer engineering, what I find I'm doing the most hands-on work with is in my hardware engineering classes. So working with like actual like pieces of hardware like FPGAs, and like actually being able to do circuit design work, and really just coding hands-on. And I make jokes about it being me and my laptop and with everybody else, but it's really the stuff that you're gonna be able to bring to a career.
Yeah, for electrical engineers, in the freshman projects class, they immediately expose you to like a lot of the tools you're gonna be using throughout the rest of your career here. So you do some programming in MATLAB, just to get exposed to that. You get some soldering projects, some 3D printing experience, and it's all mini stuff just to get, you know, your interest piqued and get you exposed, but then you can start to develop that as much as you want. There's a lot of resources in the college, 3D printers you can use anytime. But then I think you should talk about BeetleBots.
Yeah, it's a lot of hands-on in the mechanical engineering department. Especially your sophomore year, you're gonna take ME 2505, which is your design class, and you do a lot of hand-on building projects. So the first project, you gotta build a catapult out of PVC pipe, and you gotta launch it. You gotta launch a ball off of it, and it has to hit a certain target within a certain radius. And then the famous one from that class is the BeetleBot competition, where you build a robot and you go against other classes' robots and you fight to the death, pretty much, in like a, yeah, it's interesting stuff. And then as you go along, like second semester, sophomore year, you take ME laboratory, where you get into more technical things like trying to find the current in a circuit, finding a tension in a, I'm sorry, I'm getting too technical, but you get what I'm saying, yeah.
So my son and I have been studying up on a bunch of the majors that are available, and the one that really stuck out to us was mechatronics, just because it sounds so awesome. Can you all talk a little bit about what that is and how it fits into electrical or mechanical or all these other engineering disciplines?
Yeah, so mechatronics is basically robotics. I'm not really taking the minor, so I can't speak a whole lot about it, but basically it's just like a mixture of mechanical engineering and electrical engineering. If you go on the website, there's a whole lot of info on all the minors, and if you go there, you'll find all the requirements and course you need to take to get the minor.
This is more of a question related to Villanova in general and not the engineering school, but I know Catholicism in Villanova was talked about a lot in the video, the PowerPoint. How much is Catholicism integrated into like the education? Like as someone who isn't Catholic, would it be a comfortable like learning environment? Or even someone who isn't like Christian?
So our core classes that are our ACS program freshman year and the ethics, philosophy, theology classes that we're required to take, we do some readings in the Bible that are based on Christianity, but there are also a lot of readings that are more philosopher-based, like on Plato or Socrates, and those would definitely be relatable. Does anybody?
One thing I've noticed especially, we do have to take an upper level theology class, and there are extra requirements in that, but it's very flexible with the classes that you can take, and it's kind of whatever it is that you're interested in, you can make it happen. For my upper level theology class right now, I'm taking a class called Ethics in the Anthropocene, which is focusing on the ethics of human impact through technology. So it does fill that upper level theology requirement because we're reading texts by St. Augustine, but we're also reading many contemporary environmental scholars. So there is Catholicism involved, but it doesn't have to be the main focus if that's not what you are interested in personally.
So specifically in the civil engineering program, what are some of like the hands-on activities you'll do in class?
So in the civil engineering department, we have a lot of courses that have labs integrated into the course. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you'll have a short lecture where you're doing like some math. And then Thursdays or Tuesdays, you'll have like a 3-hour lab period. And it's not usually a separate lab course, it's usually integrated into the course. So depending on which class it is, whether it's a structures class or a water resources class or an environmental class, we do different things. So we have a constructed stormwater wetland on the far side of campus by the law school that we get to go out into and sample some water from and test the quality. And then we also have an entire building on the backside of campus that is a structures lab that we get to go to, and we mix concrete ourselves, we build a masonry wall, and we test beams to failure and all kinds of things like that. There's no absence of hands-on work in our department.
Good afternoon. When we pulled into this campus, I thought it was huge. So could you tell me how you get around campus for your classes, for socializing, for whatever, and what's available to you?
I would agree that the campus looks big. The nice thing is we have like a center of campus where all the academic buildings kind of are. So I would say your farthest walk, I mean, if you're in like that core area, it'd be like 2-3 minutes between to get to class. From the farthest part of campus to it would be like 10 minutes maybe. So it's really not that big. But But I really like the size of the school, and I feel like every time I get onto main campus, like, you're guaranteed to see people you know, which is nice. So I'm always seeing new faces, but I'm always, like, you definitely run into people a lot. It feels a lot smaller when you go here.
I can add on. We have an on-campus shuttle, which is amazing. We don't feel like walking. I wouldn't recommend taking it if your class starts in like 5 minutes because it might be delays or something like that. So, I'd walk in that case. But yeah, on-campus shuttle. It's also an off-campus shuttle. If you need to go to like the grocery store or something, it'll take you there and bring you back. So.
Hi. In what ways have you seen additive manufacturing change the curriculum of the engineering programs over the last few years?
Yeah, we have a large additive manufacturing laboratory and teach the principles of additive manufacturing, primarily I would say in mechanical engineering, but also in other disciplines. Anybody who wants to go and do that can do that in our makerspace. So not only in the classroom, but in our totally open lab that you can do a dorm room startup, you can just, many students just go and they just want to mess around. They make different projects for different clubs and things that they have. So it plays into our curriculum, inside the curriculum, and then outside in the resources that we provide for extracurriculars, just messing around, learning about it. And we have a fully dedicated technician who helps train the students on how to build with additive manufacturing.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question about dorms and living on campus. Do you have living learning experiences on campus here? And what's the dorms like for freshmen? Are they, 4 to a room, bathroom down the hall, all of them dorms? If you could talk about that a bit, please.
Yeah, so our living situation on campus for freshmen, one thing that I really liked is that most of the freshman dorms are grouped on what's called South Campus. So you end up living and going to the dining hall and everything with people within your class year, at least at first, to really foster a sense of community. A lot of students get involved in what are called learning communities there, so you kind of pick a focus around which your common classes are going to be kind of centered around. For example, I did the environmental leadership learning community, so we all lived in the same building, and I ended up taking my common humanities classes with the same group of people who I lived with, which was really nice. Sophomores in general will live on either West Campus, which is apartments, it's generally apartment living, or they'll live in the Quad, which are the 2 big buildings, Sheehan and Sullivan, right in front of the business school, where I lived in Sheehan last year and I loved it because I was right in the middle of everything. And then, juniors and seniors tend to live in apartment-style housing on campus, either in the Commons, which is that giant block of housing right near Lancaster Avenue and the Performing Arts Center, and then also West Campus, which is in the back corner, kind of by the law school.
I would also just say the housing department is very good with accommodations if you need them. I've had friends with medical concerns that were then given rooms with their own bathrooms, other friends with a lot of dietary restrictions that were then allowed an apartment with a kitchen ahead of when you'd normally get it. So if that's ever a concern for anybody, housing department is typically pretty good with getting you what you need.
What do you guys do for fun? I mean, besides the obvious, we go to basketball games, football games. I mean, do you have to go off campus to Philly? Do you have Greek life? How do you guys unwind?
We do have Greek life. I'm not a part of it, so I won't talk to that, I guess. Cool. But the Outdoors Club, you should definitely join if you come here, because we will take you off campus on the weekends to all the best hikes in the area. Right now, actually, over in just a few minutes, is our second kayaking trip of the day, and/or stand-up paddleboarding, if that's what you choose to do. We also have people hiking at Valley Forge right now. Tomorrow, we have a bunch of vans going to Delaware Water Gap. So, to me, that's an awesome way to get off campus, an awesome way to meet new people, way to have fun. And then there's hundreds of student organizations to meet people, and all of them have their own social atmosphere. And then just dorm hopping, and then the Greek life is a big thing too.
I can speak about Greek life a little bit. I'm in a service fraternity, so we do host our own formals, but it's more kind of like a club, being able to be more service-focused. On the weekends, it's kind of whatever you're interested in. Student organizations are always hosting events. And one thing that started happening a lot more during COVID to try to encourage students to be outside and be socially distanced, that's kind of carried on to this year, is we've started doing food truck Fridays through campus activities. So every Friday night from like 8 to 11 kind of range, they have food trucks out in the main area of campus that are just open to students. And it's a really great opportunity for people to just hang out and get to see each other. I do go into Philly occasionally, but there's a lot to do in Villanova and just in the surrounding area. So there's not really a problem finding something to do, is kind of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, sorry, Philly is very accessible too. I skipped that.
Actually, one thing that's happening this weekend is College Fest. So I'm actually going to the Philly Art Museum tomorrow for free because they're I think it's like, I can't remember the exact radius, but it basically any Philly college student is able to go into Philly for free to go to a bunch of different cultural experiences. And yeah, it's just very accessible.
Can you give us an idea of the size of the individual disciplines within engineering in terms of number of students? And then which programs are easier to transfer into or out, or which ones are more competitive?
I could speak for the size of chemical engineering. So I would say my grade right now is probably about 50 students. It starts out a little bigger. Some people drop or like move over to a different engineering major, but it's definitely, I feel like now I'm in my junior year and I know everyone in the grade by name. Like we all work together. We really always are switching around groups with homework and projects. So it's really a good size to get to know everyone and really rely on everyone if you need help in a class or something like that.
Yeah, I think the classes hover around 50 to 70, except for electrical and computer. We together make up that 50 to 70, so we're like 30 to 40 typically. And for hopping in between, it depends on availability. So if there are spots, it's very easy to transition, but like mechanical engineering is very sought after, and that might be more difficult to transfer into because there's just no spots available.
Yeah, my class for mechanical engineering is about 70 to 80 people. And like Griffin said, yeah, it depends on how many people are in the major, depending on the year, because that determines the availability. And also, it'd probably be easier, say, if you want to switch between computer and electrical, because they take a lot of similar classes. Instead, if you were on chemical and then you want to switch into civil, that's a lot of makeup class you'd probably have to take if you were trying to switch.
Thank you. At this point, can we thank all of our panelists today for their assessment?